Have you ever given feedback to your athlete just to see them shut down, get frustrated, or not perform well? Well, giving feedback, it's not only about pointing out the mistakes, it's about helping athletes grow, get confident, and improve on their own pace. In this video, I am going to share 5 strategies that's going to help your athletes to grow, get motivated, stay consistent, and get better results at the competitions. Let's dive in. Hi there, welcome back to Synchro Secrets, the go-to place for all things artistic swimming. My name is Agata and I am an artistic swimming coach and a content creator. And over my years of coaching, I worked with many athletes on different levels, from the beginners to advanced athletes. And I think the most important skill that I learned over my journey, my coaching journey, is how to give feedback. How to give feedback that the athletes stay motivated, they grow, they improve, and they go into the direction that you want to. In this video, I'm going to share 5 different strategies that you can use during your training. And it would be nice if you could try them all out and let me know in the comments under this video how your athletes respond. I would like to have a conversation about that. And also, before we start, make sure that you like this video and subscribe to my channel for more coaching tips and training drills. One of the most effective ways of giving feedback, which I use quite often during my training, not every time, because actually it takes a lot of time to do this type of technique, but I use this especially when I work one-on-one, and this is a sandwich approach. So at the beginning, you start with a positive comment. Then you give a constructive feedback, and at the end, you finish it with some encouragement. So for example, if you have an athlete and you tell them, oh yeah, your vertical position was too low, make sure you come up higher next time. I mean, the athlete doesn't really know what to fix and they don't know what to focus on. So I would go more a little bit like this. First, I really liked your support skull. It was very strong. But make sure you engage your core more and reach with the toes up to the ceiling to elongate your legs. So make your legs longer, free. And I'm sure you can get there. Just make sure you put more tension into your body as well. So here's the sandwich feedback. I added one more tip in between. Of course, it might seem very long. So if you don't have time, like the athletes are swimming that routine, you might not use it because it just takes too long. And you want to have some quick cues, but the athletes have to know what the cues are as well. So you have to explain before the training that you're gonna use those cues and what they mean. And then the athlete have to think about them in a little bit longer version, right? The tip number 2 would be more specific. Because if you give vague feedback like be faster or be higher or well, you need faster speed, I don't know, like things like this, right? It doesn't really tell the athletes what to focus on. They don't really know how to fix it. If you tell them be higher, how can they fix it? I mean, they are still learning. They don't know what to do to come up higher. So make sure you use more specific feedback. Like, for example, your routine, like if you say, oh yeah, your routine is lacking energy, you can say, your routine needs a little bit sharper movements and more defined movements, which means you have to extend your elbows more. If you are doing egg beater, finish the movements, extend the elbows to the end and finish with the fingers, right? So then they know what they actually have to do. Or when their knees are bent, instead of saying your knees are bent, you can say, make sure that you engage your quads, make sure you engage your glutes, make sure you engage your core. Anything like pointing at the specific muscles they have to use. And if they don't know where they are, then you can obviously show them as well. So they obviously have to know where the specific muscles are. So just examples like this. And next tip is to focus on the effort and not just the outcome. So for sure, like we want to get specific goals and we want to hit them. Like for example, the athletes want to improve their splits. But let's say you say as a coach, oh yeah, your splits are still not flat. Okay, that's not very encouraging. Maybe instead of pointing this out, you could say, okay, I can see you've been working on your splits. Don't give up. It will take time. You need a little bit more time and make sure you engage your muscles more. Make sure you engage your quads. Make sure you engage your glutes and core. This is important to get your splits flat in the water, but it will take time. So don't give up, keep going. And this type of comment keeps the athletes motivated because they know they will one day they will get there. They are not there yet. But if they are working on it and you can see some improvement, or maybe you cannot even see, then you can ask them, have you been working on your splits? And if they say yes, ask them how often, how do they stretch, and so on. You can get a little bit deeper to get them some pointers, and this will keep them more motivated to keep going as well. Tip number 4 is to adapt your feedback to individual athletes, because not every athlete will respond the same way to the same type of feedback. Let's say that your feedback is very direct and very strict and so on, and some athletes might get, for example, scared, or they might not get it, they might be shy that they didn't understand, and so on and so on. For some athletes, it would be necessary to make the feedback a little bit more encouraging. And also, don't forget that some athletes are visual learners, so they might need some, photos, pictures, videos of the performance, the ideal performance, and they also need some recording to see themselves how they perform the actual skill. So then they can compare. Yeah, you told me this 10,000 times, but I maybe didn't believe you, or maybe I thought I'm doing it, but now I can see on the video that actually I'm not doing it. So use the video as a feedback as well quite often. Obviously, it shouldn't be used the whole practice, because then it's also long and it's like the athletes just sit on the phone and they go. It's kind of, it shouldn't be done all the time. So you should mix the feedback, how you give the feedback a little bit more. And my last tip would be to encourage self-reflection. And I do this quite often with my athletes, that instead of just giving feedback and the same, extend your knees, extend your knees, extend your knees, and you say this a million times and actually nothing happens, I would ask them, so how did your knees feel? Were they extended? Were they bent? I ask questions. And then they have to think, and then they have to self-reflect, and they said, oh yeah, they were bent. And I'm like, okay, well, next time make sure that you feel sensation like tightening of your quads. That means your muscles are tense. That means that your knees are extended. If you cannot feel it, that means they are not extended. And then next time I ask, did you feel the tension of your quads? They say no. And they at the beginning, they will not know. Quite often I ask the athletes, so what did you feel? How did that feel? Better, worse? And they said, I don't know. And I'm like, well, you have to know, because you are in the water. You have to know how it feels. You have to know if it felt on the back, on the front, or in the middle. You have to know if your knees are extended, if your toes are pointed. They have to know, because they are the ones that are performing the skills, not the coaches. The coaches are just there to help, but they need to be able to reflect, and they need to be able to tell me what the actual position was, right? And also I find this method of asking questions very nice, because then the athletes get more self-engaged and they can work without the coach even, because they know if their knees were extended or not. They just know. So encourage this type of questions asking. At the beginning, as I said, it might be a little bit long and tricky, but they get used to it, and then they will answer straight away. I promise. Now, I want to hear from you, coaches. What is the biggest challenge when you are giving the feedback to your athletes? Make sure you drop your thoughts in the comment section under this video, and like it and subscribe to my channel. And I hope to see you for more videos like this one. Bye!